Hello, Wastelanders, and as promised by the title, we are here in NukaWorld with the Enclave. That's right, it wasn't a straightforward project bringing the Enclave to this DLC, but we did it, and as we stand at the climax of the Enclave conquest of NukaWorld, ready to turn on the power plant, I can't help but think of what an adventure it's been. I promised to share with you the long road that brought the Enclave to this victory, but as we savor this moment, I can't help but reflect on some of the enemies we overcame to get here. The personal risks that we had to take. The rush of adrenaline as we risked life and limb for the Enclave. The powerful network of allies we relied on in our moment of need. I think of the courage shown and the blood spilled by allies and enemies alike in this struggle for dominance. And viewers, as we stand here surveying the works that our hands have wrought, I make this declaration to you: it was worth it. The Enclave and NukaWorld together are as natural as America and apple pie. And if you want to bring this holy matrimony to your playthrough, stick around, I will show you how. And to do that, I guess we should start at the beginning. You see, this all started when the Enclave got word of a dangerous raider outpost located in the greatest bastion of pre-war American culture in existence. The NukaWorld theme park. The details of our secret meeting with Enclave leadership are highly classified, and I can't share them with you here.
All right, speak later.
I can, however, paraphrase the general assignment. Investigate NukaWorld deep undercover as a raider, find out what the nature of the threat is, and then deal with the threat as we deem necessary using Enclave auxiliary forces. The first order of business was for Captain Peterson and I to dress as raiders so that we wouldn't arouse suspicion upon entering NukaWorld. Colonel Whitehill had already provisioned us with the necessary supplies at the Enclave's army supply base in the Commonwealth. It was time to suit up. Here's the breakdown. Our character would be taking lead in an outfit sourced from Wasteland mashups by Frozen Memories, with accessories provided by the Azar's Holstered Weapons mod and the ZGC Shadow Scarf by ZGC. While Captain Peterson would be in a supporting role, the less he talks, the better, in Raider War Chief armor from head to toe. Our weapons loadouts would have to change as well. No more plasma-based weapons, no more Enclave Gatling lasers. Instead, we selected from the more common ballistics-based weaponry available throughout the Commonwealth. 44 revolvers, radium rifles, miniguns, 10mm, and an instigating handmade sniper rifle which I was eager to try out. I would soon get my chance because there was one last thing on our shopping list to complete our disguise, a very special suit of power armor. We had no intel on who had developed it, but the raiders at the Roadside Pines Motel were in possession of it, and on the way there I was able to test my instigating sniper rifle on a Deathclaw. One hit. It's not my M2045, but it'll do. In order to keep our profile low, it was just Peterson and I taking on the raiders at Roadside Pines Motel. We attacked under the cover of darkness so that it would look like raider-on-raider violence when we stole the suit. Though we were outnumbered and up against enemies in power armor, we stayed on top of the situation. A couple of lucky critical hits with this instigating sniper rifle and a well-placed headshot eliminated our most dangerous enemies. With this special raider power armor now in our possession and our credibility as raiders assured, we were almost ready to head to NukaWorld. If you want a set of this power armor for your own playthrough, you'll need to download Tubba Jumba's Raider Power Armor by Tubba Jumba. The detail is exquisite and the stats are on par with T45. Back at the Enclave's Army Depot, Enclave engineers bumped the stats up to a Mark 6 on the suit and added a jetpack so that Captain Peterson would feel a little bit better about relying on non-Enclave equipment in combat. He's a stickler about that kind of thing, but even he had to admit he really looked the part. Now we definitely don't look Enclave. Even my dog is in regular Wastelander dog armor. Soon Peterson and I would be on our own in the belly of the beast, but the Enclave did give us one last bit of support. A vertibird ride to the Nuka Transit Center. Some viewers may not know where this vertibird ride, where the army base, where Captain Peterson the companion, and where Colonel Whitehill and the oil rig even came from. That is America Rising 2 Legacy of the Enclave by Otellino, and if you want to do an Enclave-based playthrough, it is a must. Touching down at the Nuka World Transit Center, you might be surprised not to see a bunch of gunner resistance, but that's because we had cleared them on an earlier Radiant quest. Which means that all there was left to do was head down into the Nuka World Transit Center and talk to poor, sweet Raider bait Harvey.
Shit. They're gonna die.
I don't know how much I trust these tunnels.
We weren't born yesterday, so we call his bluff.
Let me help you first. I have a stim pack.
No. I'll be fine. Save it for my wife and kid. For Lisa and Cody.
Lisa and Cody, I admire his commitment to the role.
I'm offering you a way to heal yourself. Why pass that up?
Damn it. Look, you got me. I ain't injured, okay? Just can't do this anymore. The raiders back at Nuka World put me up to this. They lure people in and kill them for fun, and I'm done doing their dirty work.
So this seems like a chance to gather some intel.
Sounds like typical raiders to me.
You don't get it. These raiders are different. They make Commonwealth raiders look like a bunch of kids. Power up those rails and you can see for yourself. Just don't say I didn't warn you. As for me, I'm getting as far away from this place as possible.
Yeah, good luck with that, Harvey. And as we head into the Nuka World Transit and into the Gauntlet, you know what happens. So I'll just skip to the most exciting part. These raiders were savage, but you had to hand it to them for being ingenuitive.
What the hell just happened?
All right. Now get the hell out of here. I'll show the boss.
Well, it turns out Enclave reports of a raider threat here in Nuka World were not exaggerated. This place is crawling with them like roaches. But it's not extermination time yet. We're still on the fact-finding phase of this mission.
What did I tell you? Worked like a charm.
So I set about buttering up my new ally on the inside.
Death by squirt gun. I'd love to see the message on his tombstone.
Tell me about it. Now
And
that
in a
he's
twist
actually
that's either going to
gone,
make our job really
I'm
hard or
so
really
convinced
easy here, he
the
informs us
overboss
that
department. Guess what? You just got the job. Now, I'm sure you got a lot of questions, but this ain't the place. Meet me at the Overbosses. Your new quarters. The restaurant on top of good old Fizztop Mountain. We can talk there.
well, that's just fine, Gage, because we're here to gather some information for the Enclave and find out what kind of threat we're up against here with these Nuka World raiders. We have plenty of opportunities to gather some information on our way to Fizztop Mountain.
Myself? Were you sleeping or were you not?
Yes, I was sleeping, okay? It's what people do when they're exhausted.
We learn that a group of traders is basically being treated like slaves here, and say what you will about the Enclave, but they aren't into slavery. So when one of the traders named Mackenzie has a proposition for us about the raiders, we are way ahead of her.
Hello, boss. I'd be lying if I said we weren't all wondering how you plan to run the place. You could, well, you know, Get rid of the raiders if you don't exactly agree with how they're running the place.
I'd have to kill all of them?
No, of course not.
Mackenzie's
If you're
giving us
serious
gold
about
here.
this, then you'll have to take down the leaders of the gangs. That means putting a bullet into Nisha, Mason, Mags, and Mags's brother, William.
That
I
sounds like
should,
exactly what the
probably stop
Enclave
talking
wants to
about this
do.
out here.
And it's also
Just
the
keep what I
open
said in
season
mind.
quest, which we're all
Anyway,
familiar with, which
I am
lets
the
us
closest thing to a
essentially
doctor.
kill all the raiders to take over
Treat
NukaTown instead of
traitor,
working with them.
traitor,
What's different about
traveler.
our approach this
Got some
time
medical
is that it
supplies, too,
also gives
for
us the
people
quest of Battle for Nuka World, where we can use our radio to assemble the Minutemen to help us take over NukaTown. More on that in a minute. NukaTown has plenty of secrets the Enclave's interested in.
Ordinary around here, have you? The name's Sierra Petrovita. I traveled all the way from the capital wasteland to visit this place. Maybe you've heard about my Nuka-Cola museum? I'm betting that somewhere in his office is the original Nuka-Cola formula. That formula was one of the great mysteries of the soft drink world, and it would be the crown jewel of my collection.
Whitehill's going to want to hear about that. You know how the Enclave loves that pre-war stuff. And that's not to mention Project Cobalt, which we haven't really even gotten into yet. And now, as we take a ride up to Fizztop Grill, we can survey the lay of the land here in NukaTown and get a little bit more information about our enemy here from our redoubtable raider in residence, Gage. And as we met each raider boss, it turned out his advice was spot on.
Nuka World. Shit. This was the dream. Huge. Built like a goddamn fortress. You run this, world is yours. The disciples like violence. The bloodier, the better. Tell them they'll get plenty of it.
Gage screws this up, he knows we'll skin him alive. So shut up and be patient.
The operators are in it mostly for the money. They get promised caps, they'll listen to you.
We are the only ones who see this place for what it is. A temple. A testament to the only thing that matters in this world.
Making money?
Exactly. Caps.
The pack? Hell, I don't know. They follow whoever they think is the strongest. Show some teeth, I guess.
Be a good dog and do what you're told, or you'll be put down.
Oh, yeah, boss. Nothing from my guys, all right? You've got enough to worry about with the dominant struggle inside the pack to deal with. You know what? I think we're not so different, me and you. I want you to have this. Consider it a token of our mutual understanding and respect.
You are the overboss after all. Just don't screw this up.
As you could see, we didn't screw that up. We met with each of the raider bosses, we learned a little something about them, and we found out who the Enclave is up against. After gathering all this intel for the Enclave, one thing is very clear. NukaTown would be hard for any faction to clear out, and Peterson and I definitely can't do it by ourselves. Luckily, Whitehill promised us some backup in the form of the Enclave auxiliary troops, also known as the Minutemen. And if you want the Minutemen to become part of the Enclave, you're going to need 3 mods. You're going to need Militarized Minutemen by Corvalho, Militarized Minutemen Uniforms, Patches, and Insignia by Zactan1234, and ZAV AR2 Patches, Enclave's Minutemen by Zavek. Fortunately, we have all 3, and we head back to the Enclave Army Base in the Commonwealth to meet with the Enclave Auxiliary Minutemen you see here, because as General of the Minutemen, we just conscripted them into the Enclave to help the Enclave out. After all of its losses in the capital wasteland, it stretched pretty thin. And that's why these guys are perfect to be our backup for an infantry assault and a room-to-room clearing of NukaTown. The mod responsible for allowing them to help us as we clear NukaTown is called Minutemen Takeover Nuka World by HX Hunter 15. So to review, if you want to pull all this off for yourself, and I will have links to these mods in the description below, you are going to need Militarized Minutemen, Militarized Minutemen Uniforms, Patches, and Insignia add-ons, ZAV AR2 Patches Enclave's Minutemen, and Minutemen Takeover Nuka World. I also highly recommend We Are the Minutemen by TheFirstenD. That's a fantastic mod as well. Okay, now that everyone's on the same page, we are back in Nuka World and we are about to radio for support from those Enclave auxiliary troops. The Nuka World command radio comes to us through the Minutemen Takeover Nuka World mod. And this is where things get interesting, folks, because on January 6th, after I had made the original version of this video, Montrose, the mod author for Minutemen Takeover Nuka World, added a patch called Minutemen Takeover Nuka World America Rising 2 patch, and that means that we can now communicate directly with the Enclave and call Enclave troops from America Rising 2 in here. We don't need the patches on the auxiliary Minutemen. They're still cool to have. Those mods are still totally usable. You can still take it over with Minutemen Auxiliary, but if you want the America Rising 2 Enclave on your side, now you can call them. They'll call you Major, and you can pick how many of them you want to help. I think 50 Enclave is going to be enough, because here's how this works. 25 of your troops will be in-game at a time with reinforcements coming as needed, and 15 raiders will be in-game at a time with reinforcements flooding constantly from their strongholds, but you can still kind of overwhelm them. And once we've made our selections, we have to wait a little while for our troops to assemble. And while we waited for the Enclave Auxiliary to assemble, we were in the NukaTown market and ran into a trader who had some really good ideas for what the Enclave should do after they conquered the park.
Big plans, huh?
His plan was to get the power plant back online and light up the whole park, making it easier to conquer and safer for all of us.
I just might finish what he started.
And now that we've heard back from our Enclave troops that they're ready to arrive in Nuka World, we'll be able to move toward that goal. Now, we do have the option of having our forces just attack straight up. They just come to the front gate and they just start attacking. So I could sit here in Fizz Top Grill while they did that if I wanted to, but that's not how I want this to go. I want to roll out the red carpet for these Enclave troops, so I'm going to have them prepare to attack, and that way they'll just wait for us to fire the first shots, and then they'll roll in as our backup. And that gives me a chance to show you something else I wanted to update you on. As you may recall, in the Ultimate Enclave Vertibird video, I mentioned that the Flyable Personal Vertibirds mod had some new additions, one of which was a portable landing marker. We all know Enclave troops like to arrive by Vertibird, so thanks to the classic Enclave Vertibird patch for the Flyable Personal Vertibirds mod, both by PJ Mail, we can drop a portable landing marker right outside the gates of NukaTown and call in an Enclave Vertibird to help our troops arrive in style. Okay, Enclave fans, are you ready to take over Nuka World with the help of America Rising 2 Enclave troops? Thank you, PJ Mail, for giving us this Vertibird for scenery back there. Thank you so much to Montrose for updating with a patch his Minutemen Takeover Nuka World mod. You're looking at the hands-down definitive way to bring the Enclave to Nuka World, so let's get to it. There it is, everybody. NukaTown belongs to the Enclave, but these heavy shock troops that helped us take this place against the raiders, they're needed elsewhere. The Enclave only has so many reserves, so we'll let them go on to other assignments, and we'll garrison NukaTown with our Minutemen auxiliary forces from here on out. Thanks for the help, fellas. We'll see you later. All that's left is to talk to Mackenzie with the traders in the market and find out what is next for them.
I can't believe it. You killed the raiders. Thank you. Sincerely, from all of us. Thank you.
And that
Now,
interaction will prompt
excuse me,
3
I've
quest
gotta figure out a way
responses.
to safely
One
remove
for
these
finishing
collars.
open season. And then because we have the Minutemen Takeover Nuka World mod installed, we will also get credit for finishing the Battle for Nuka World.
Just some good deals.
And then after we get credit for finishing Battle for Nuka World, we get a new quest, brand new refreshment, where we need to secure Nuka World with our Enclave auxiliary using our radio. Well, that pretty much gets you up to speed. And it may look like the mission is accomplished when we've got soldiers with Enclave markings on their uniforms marching all over Nuka World, but there are a few loose ends left to tie up before the job is done. So let me show you how we're going to do that. First up, to bring people from the Commonwealth back into Nuka World, we're going to need to use our Nuka World command radio, and we're going to need to have Enclave troops secure Nuka World. So we're going to have a permanent garrison of security there. Not just this invasion force that we mustered to take the place over. There we go. Job done. In about a day, we're going to see troops from our Enclave auxiliary forces staffing Nuka World security points, and we're going to see more and more travelers come swarming in as that happens. I have a second plan in mind for how the Enclave auxiliary in Nuka World can help us out in conquering the different parts of the park. See, we set up the Red Rocket settlement now that we've turned the power on at the Nuka, power reactor, and this settlement's pretty stable. It has settlers in it. They're doing their thing. I've got, good security here with a Nukatron Guardian off of some salvaged parts from the Galactic Zone. So I feel like they should be able to answer the call if I fire the flare. But we're about to test that now. If they can, taking over the other parts of the park is going to be so much easier and more fun. So let's see what happens. I've pulled out my flare gun. I'm aiming in the direction of the Red Rocket settlement, and I'm outside the Galactic Zone. I fire the flare off, and I get no message about whether they can respond or not. And I also don't see any responding flare, so maybe we're too far away. I fire from much closer, outside the world of refreshment, toward the Red Rocket settlement. My flare goes up. No message. No answering flare. I gotta tell you, I'm a little disappointed. Maybe somebody will add a patch or something so that the Minutemen can respond from the Red Rocket settlement, but there is some hope. In the Galactic Zone, I was gathering star cores when I could hear a ruckus happening nearby, and it turns out, I think, one of our Enclave auxiliary troops is busy fighting robots inside the Galactic Zone, all on their own. Let's go down and investigate. Sure enough, one of our Enclave auxiliary is here, just independently taking on robots in the Galactic Zone, so I guess they do help us out. And that's not all I discovered. Peterson and I, when we were at the World of Refreshment getting this Nuka-Cola T-51 power armor, found Project Cobalt and realized that the XO1 power armor here in this display case represents a pre-war technology that the Enclave is very interested in getting a hold of. Now we've gathered up all the other star cores, and it's time to put this very special, iconic XO1 power armor where it belongs, in the Enclave's hands. This will be the crowning jewel of our conquest of Nuka World here. If you've ever done this for yourself in Nuka World, then you know just how much work goes into gathering all these star cores. It is a big moment. So, drum roll, please. This really is a thing of beauty, isn't it, Peterson? I think Whitehill is going to be quite pleased, and it is an honor to be claiming this legendary XO1 power armor for the Enclave.
Good choice.
This is a good choice, and I feel like coming to Nuka World with the Enclave in the way we've done was a fantastic choice. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And now that we have the reactor powered up and NukaTown all lit up and its streets patrolled by Enclave auxiliary troops, I think we can go back to Whitehill and debrief her on the situation and tell her, job done.
Ma'am. Thanks to you, things couldn't be better. We all owe you for what you've done for us, Major.
So does that mean we did it? Did we take NukaWorld for the Enclave?
I haven't got any more orders for you, Major. Others might, though.
Might be worth stopping by the mess hall before we depart.
Yeah, sure, why not, Peterson? Let's grab some of Toby's spinach puffs because it looks like job done.
Restore law and order, whether the people want it or not.
Yes, sharp-eyed viewers, that is Exo 2 power armor on that Enclave NPC and a solar cannon in his hand. We'll be talking more about that in another video soon. But as far as this video is concerned, it looks like we have done it. We have taken the Enclave to NukaWorld. It took a few mods to get it there. Remember that if you want to replicate a playthrough like this one, you're going to need America Rising 2, Legacy of the Enclave by Otellino. You're going to need Militarized Minutemen by Corvalho, Militarized Minutemen Uniforms, Patches, and Insignia add-on by Zactan1234. You're going to need ZAV AR2 Patches Enclaves Minutemen by Zavek, and Minutemen Takeover Nuka World by HX Hunter 15. This combination is probably only possible on PC. But if you aren't a PC player, I hope I showed you enough for you to have some fun watching my playthrough of the Nuka World Takeover Enclave style. And if you are a PC user, I have included the links to the necessary mods in the description for this video. I hope I've inspired you to give these mods a try, and I hope I've inspired you to try a new way to play through the Nuka World DLC and get that Quantum Exo 1 power armor. I think it's going to look right at home in your Enclave power armor collection, and I think you're really going to enjoy the experience. If you've been enjoying this video, please like, and if you're not subscribed, what's stopping you? We have fun here, right? In fact, hit that notification bell. I don't want you to miss any of this future content that I love making for you. And on that note, if you have ideas for videos you'd like to see us make here on the channel in the future, please drop those kinds of ideas in the comments. I read all the comments and I do love hearing from you. And with that, I'd better sign out and get started on our next video. Later, Raiders. I will see you in the next one.